I think maybe even Dirty Jersey Rat. Dirty Jersey. Yay! I love that song.
No, I don't know that. All right, let's get into the Rekieta segment. All right, Nick Rekieta, we haven't talked about him in a while, but he's stacking W's. Well, he's not stacking W's. The Lolcows are stacking W's. He has one W, and I regret to inform the chat. This is the... Nick Rekieta is officially a lawyer again. It's true. He passed his CLEs, the continuing learning education. It's finally happened. The Baldo man has beaten all the A-logs by successfully becoming a lawyer again. Now, there's some interesting things about the CLEs, because I thought this was like an intensive course, like a week away or something. He claimed he couldn't be a lawyer because he had to do 90 hours of these CLEs. Now, he streamed the CLEs, and 5K Griff coming next, I guess so. Yeah, that's what's happening. It's right around the corner. Trust the plan, 2 more weeks, 5,000 local subscribers. It turns out that the CLEs is literally just watching lawyer podcasts. So he was watching lawyer podcasts for like 40 hours or 9. I think he did 45 hours, and then he's got to do another 45 hours. So it's like to get the ones that are coming up next. So he basically had to watch 40 hours of television. And apparently you don't even have to even watch these, because you just get a code at the end and then you submit that to prove that you did it. So it's like, it's the honor system. There was like no test. There was no there wasn't even a multi-choice question. This man could have been playing video games and doing these CLEs months ago. But there's a bit of a conspiracy theory about these CLEs. Oh wait, that's not that. It's where is this post? Hold on a second. Did I get everything mixed up? Is it this one? Is it this one? All right, here we go. So, Scarecrow reporting, Farms user wrapped in plastic has revealed that the reason that Rekieta Law has performed his CLEs now is because Susan Humiston, the director of the OLPR, passed away last week at the age of 55. Nick Rekieta appears to have waited for a woman to die and used this opportunity to obtain his license without any repercussions. Now, Nick actually said in the past that he thinks that if he was reinstated his legal license, that they would instantly disbar him. So he had this like crazy schizo arms race going where he just did nothing, because if he's not officially a lawyer, they can't disbar him. But apparently he's pulling some sticks, Hexenhammer magic, and his enemies are just dying. So this woman died at 55, pretty young, really. And she was on the review board, I guess. But he appears to have waited for a woman to pass away and use the opportunity to obtain his license. Disgusting. Remember what I said about Nick's usual tactic of avoidance and waiting for the situation to turn in his favor? Because he can afford to deal, or not to deal with the consequences. So you can see that that's very sad that she passed away. In loving memory. So we can get some Fs in the chat for Susan Humiston. She was the one woman that was holding back the Rekieta man from being a legal lawyer man again. And now that he's got his law license back, you know that he's just going to put it to good use. Like, he's definitely not going to go on against Aaron. He's not going to use it to puppeteer his wife from the shadows to try and get his ex-boyfriend a 50-year restraining order. But we got some bad news on that, actually. But actually, I should show you that we can see. This is official. State of Minnesota, Supreme Court filed the 21st. Nick Rekieta is officially a lawyer again. Say it ain't so. Now, but, as I said, with each W comes an L. Breaking Baldo news, Rekieta Law is denied again, courtesy of Minnesota Public Records. We have new documents in Kayla, our wife Rekieta's HRO, that's the homo restraining order, against Aaron and Steel Toe Media. Our wife is currently pro se. Now, Nick would actually have you believe, I'm not even joking, that he has no part in his wife's lawsuit. But they're so insufferable as a couple that they can't find a single person to represent them, or they can't afford to pay for one to represent them. So Kayla Rekieta is filing pro se litigation against the Steel Toe man, the Aaron guy. Okay, what am I saying, the Aaron guy? I know his name. It's Aaron Imholte. Or is it Imhotep? I forget. But Nick Rekieta's wife is currently pro se, which is why it is odd for her husband Nick has gone dead silent this week on a social media and in the toe log dislog, despite getting his CLEs completed and having his legal license reinstated. Certainly, Nick could not have spent his time ghostwriting our wife's legal filings, in which she asked for a continuance because she still has been unable to find legal counsel. So basically, they're asking the judge for more time. It's the story that we've heard time and time and time again, like with Aaron's case against Nick. This is Nick's wife's case against Aaron. Despite it being already 1 month, the dates on these documents are funny because they were filed at about 8:16 a.m. on August 21st, but the order to restate Nick's license was not filled until at least 1 p.m. that same day. That's a bit of suspicious timing, don't you think, guys? It's a little bit sus. It is a good thing these continuance requests are written solely by Kayla. Well, I'm of course editorializing the Scarecrow's post. He says our wife. Surely our wife could not have written these, because that would be good, funny, and weird, or it would be. In any case, our wife goes on to list Aaron, all the Aaron content she's totally watching in lieu of Star Trek. How much Aaron scares her as trolls who may be agents of her husband's plaster her name all over Aaron's stream. It's like, this is like the stupidest theory ever, because Aaron's not allowed to talk about Kayla or he goes to jail. So the idea here is that people that like Aaron are going into Aaron's chat saying Kayla, because then if Aaron reads the word Kayla or he watches someone's stream clip and it says Kayla, like if he's watching my stream right now, he's going to get absolutely thrown back in the slammer. Why would they do that if they were a fan of the Toad? That doesn't make sense, right? It's clearly people that hate him, which is the entire Dabbleverse for some reason. No matter what anyone else does, because this is one of the things that happened recently, is that one of the girls, you know, the girls that used to have the two girls that were like the toe logs, the antisocial girls. One of them left and got a real job, I suppose, or just fell out with him or something. The other one got revealed that she actually literally sold heroin. She's an actual certified convicted heroin dealer. And she's like, no, I never sold heroin. It was just one time and I got caught. So she sold heroin. So she's a heroin dealer. But she's a better person than Aaron, who showed a picture of a nipple. Like, and by the way, you shouldn't show pictures of nipples without consent, obviously. But I think on the tiers of things that you can like are bad in society, maybe we should go a little bit easier on the nipple sharers and a little bit more strict on the heroin dealers, people that are actually destroying lives. But no, it's Aaron bad. It's just the HR meme, basically, where they're just calling human resources on everything that the Toad does. So it's an L for the Toad there. But he's about to get a W, so don't worry. As we say, the equal and opposite reactions are always coming. The court deadline to examine her abeyance in the documents, the judge, citing Aaron's probation, denied the request for an ex parte HRO against Aaron and Steel Toe Media. She was trying to get a 50-year restraining order for Nipplegate, okay? The judge does grant the continuance, so they still have a second chance to get him, but for now, it's not being thrown out immediately. However, but says that any future request for continuance will be denied. Oh, that's 2 denieds. Oh, we've already got one more. We've got to get one more for the goal of denied. Saying the HRO hearings are supposed to be expedited proceedings. The judge has stated that our wife is to work with Aaron's counsel to decide the next date. So I think this was supposed to be around the 24th. Probably unlikely that's going to happen now. What is the day? The 22nd? 24th? No, it's the 4th. It's the 24th today. What am I talking about? The weekend. I got to be honest, guys. No, actually, I won't be honest. If I tell you what happened to my weekend, you'll laugh at me, and I don't want people to point fingers at me. Trent Johnson says, use code COPES, you rat. That's true on the dragonstreasure.com. We have Real Max Murray says, the only bar Nix qualifies are the gay bar. You know, the thing is, that song's a banger, man.